I want to be real with you for a second about my experiences as a neurodivergent with empathy. I want to stress, first of all, that this common myth that some neurodivergents don't have empathy is completely incorrect. I actually believe many of us have hyperempathy. We are more likely to feel empathy with greater intensity, often about some narrow areas. For example, for me, it was animals. That was the first thing that I learned to empathize with before people. And because it's directed towards animals, maybe we might not express our empathy as readily or easily or connect with empathy when it comes to human beings. And so there's this assumption made that we don't have it at all. What I want to stress is we do have empathy, but empathizing, the actual practice of expressing that empathy, isn't second nature for many of us. I know that when people came to me to express situations that called upon me to respond with empathy as a young person, a child, a young adult, I really struggled with that because I didn't understand the mechanics of how to express empathy. I could feel it inside. I could feel intense sadness, grief, pain that the other person was experiencing, but I might not be able to put it into words or to express it in a way that would make the person understand that I'm with them. And that is the essence of empathy, is letting somebody know that you're with them in the experience that they're having. Now, that might be a inherent difficulty with some neurotypes like autism, with social communication, with understanding that certain things need to be said and expressed in order for them to be conveyed. Some kind of difficulty with mind blindness, in terms of not being able to infer that the other person needs this specific thing, because it doesn't come second nature to us the way that our brains are wired. We might not necessarily know that is the expectation, and therefore that we have to fulfill that expectation to fulfill an unspoken, unwritten social contract. If you are my friend, if you are my relative, if you are a caring human being, you will acknowledge the painful thing that I've shared, and you will respond accordingly with some outward expression of empathy. That was never explained to me, so I often missed the cues and missed opportunities to express empathy and connect with people. And I also found that it was hard for me to put myself in other people's shoes. I could say and do things without regard to how that would impact other people, because for me, in my brain, it was perfectly logical to say that. And I didn't understand that this would have or be received in a certain way, because I assumed this person would understand my intentions, my motives, my thought process without having explained it. That was the fallacy that I often ran into, is that I assumed. And then I would say things, I'm like, why didn't they understand my intention? Wasn't it clear? I was like, no, it wasn't clear because I didn't express it. So part of empathy as well is not only attuning to other people's emotional needs, it's also kind of being emotionally intelligent and communicating your own framework with which how you view the world, you view yourself, you view others, your own kind of intellectual standpoint, and explaining it in a kind, accommodating way, with the understanding that people might not inherently hold that same perception or that same point of view, and they need to be gently let in to your worldview so that they can understand and in turn empathize with you. So at the end of the day, yes, what we're talking about here is emotional intelligence. And for many of us, we have to learn this by rote through trial and error, often error. And then we get negative responses and we're like, oh, this is what is expected of me as an empathic human being, as an emotionally intelligent human being. This is what I should do to make sure the other person feels like their needs are being met and that I'm fulfilling my social obligations in this interaction. Have you struggled with the act of empathizing, not necessarily feeling or experiencing empathy, but expressing it with other human beings? Have you found it difficult to express empathy, particularly when people have come at you and attacked you in the past for failures of so-called failures of empathy, where you've failed to meet their social expectations, and you kind of feel wary about letting your guard down and being vulnerable like that because of these negative past experiences? For me, that has been also a very prominent obstacle to learning the skill of empathizing. I would love to hear all about your experiences.